We were just in the middle of a story here. I wanted to find out about you driving Jim Morrison's car. Now, let's tell the Q listener that you were a huge fan here.
Oh, I was, the ultimate Jim Morrison fan. When I first heard that second album, Strange Days, it changed my whole idea about records and writing. And
How so?
He brought poetry and literature into rock music. No one had ever done that. And the long cuts, the end, and when the music's over, and, we were just starting to get into the hippie frame of mind at that time, and
I know what you mean.
Those
nudge,
long
nudge,
cuts,
wink, wink.
Those long cuts blew us away.
Yeah.
12, 13 minutes turned into 3 hours, I listened endlessly to Strange Days. I was the hugest Jim Morrison fan. So long story short, we go to L.A. I think it was one of our first appearances on Dick Clark on American Bandstand to get one of the gold records, right? So I'd never been there before. I'd never been to L.A. Honestly, this is so crazy. We all check into the hotel. It's down by La Brea and Sunset. The other three guys were always a little older than me, Peterson, Cale, and Bachman. They just stayed in the hotel. Me, I couldn't wait to get out on Sunset Boulevard and walk and see Dino's, where they used to film 77 Sunset Strip. So I walk and walk and walk and walk. And I finally walk so far, I see the Whiskey A Go-Go. And I'm saying, oh, my God, this is the Holy Grail.
You play there?
Never have played
there.
I
played there.
Oh, man,
Yeah,
what a place. It's like the Vatican. Come on. The Doors and the Springfield and the Byrds. And, who didn't play there in the day? So I go inside, and this is my first night in L.A. By this time, I've been in L.A. maybe 3 hours. And most of that 3 hours have been walking along Sunset. I go inside. I see the band has just finished, whoever they were. I see Eric Burden over in the corner, who's about 9 beers into his evening and not looking that great. And I look around. Everybody's kind of breaking it up for the evening. So I stand there for a couple minutes, drinking in the vibes, say to myself, okay, now I can go to sleep and get ready for tomorrow. This is phenomenal. I've seen Dino's. I've seen the Whiskey. I've seen Sunset Boulevard, blah, blah, blah. I walk back outside. I hail a cab because I'm going to take a cab back to my hotel. This is right outside the front door.
Sunset Marquee?
Right outside. No, we were it's a Sleepy's now. It's down by La Brea.
Yeah, okay.
It's, one of those, not exactly the Four Seasons, but, So we're, I go right outside the front door of the Whiskey. Right outside the door, there's a cab. I get into the cab. Before I can open my mouth, the driver says, well, I guess you're going to the party too. Well, I'm not stupid. I said, yeah, let's get going. I've been in L.A. now by 3.5, 4 hours. I'm in a cab winding through the hills up into the Hollywood Hills. And then halfway up, I start getting nervous. I say to the driver, listen, man, I got to come clean. I'm not really supposed to be going to this party, but why don't you take me there anyway? I'll pay the fare. Wait around, see if I get in. And I'll knock on the door. And if I don't get in, you can take me to my hotel because I can't be stuck here. So he drives me up to this place. It looks like where the Beverly Hills Billies lived. Mm-hmm. I ring the bell. Somebody says, come in. Well, I'm in. At this point, I'm in. There's naked people in the pool. There's booze. There's dope. There's craziness. There's loud music. Complete insanity going on. So I see this piano over in the corner, and I figured, geez, I'll just go sit over there and watch. I'm a people watcher. I'm in a party in L.A., sitting at the piano, doodling around down here in the lower register. Some guy sits next to me on the bench, starts doodling around in the upper register. And I don't even look. I just keep playing a little bit. And finally, I turn to my right, and it's Jim. It's Morrison sitting there, full beard, a lot of leather. It's Jim Morrison. I stopped playing. I said, hey, man, I know where the beers are. Follow me. So he comes with me to the kitchen. We crack a Miller. We're having a beer, and this is just after he had allegedly exposed his privates in Miami, and all their gigs were canceled. It was a terrible time for them. It looked like the beginning of the end. And I said, Jim, how's the stuff in Miami? You like it? And he just kind of grinned and said, it'll be okay, man. It'll be okay. By this time, he's pretty drunk, so he's going to leave with these two girls, and they've got the car keys. And I said, hey, man, don't be driving. He's got the keys. I said, don't be driving, man. Give me the keys. I'll drive you wherever you want to go. And and then you can let me out. And I
don't know where I am or where I'm going,
yeah, but I want to drive you around. So, long story short, Jim gets in the back seat with these two girls, and they hand me the keys to his GTO. He says, but first we got to go to the trunk. And we go to the trunk, and there's a washing vat full of Miller High Life with ice. There's like 40 beers in the trunk. So he grabs a few of those, gets to the back seat with the girls, and then there I am driving around. Turn left, up ahead. Turn right, go down the hill. And every once in a while he'd say to the girls, some for the driver, some for the driver. And they'd hand me a beer up to me, and I didn't know where I was. Ended up driving him around till about 6 in the morning. It was like 5 hours or so. And I got out. Finally, one of the girls said, Jim, we got to get going here and there. And she got behind the wheel. I got out of the car. I said goodbye. I'm thinking, wow, man, is this all real? Did this really happen?
Wow.
And a year and a half later, he was gone. So, and I have since become friendly with Ray Manzarek, and I told Ray this story. And Ray said, geez, man, he said, you spent more time with him than almost anybody.
Wow.
And it's a true story. It's so bizarre.
That's mind-blowing.
It was like meant to happen. Like I'm supposed to have that memory to carry with me,
That's fantastic, Burton. Wow.
It really was. And honestly, I swear on my mother and grandmother graves, spirits, every word of that is true.
Wow.
I couldn't believe it. Still to this day, it's weird,
That's amazing, man.